Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Seeley, and I'm going to be demonstrating how to use the CAD software, or Tinkercad, to create your virtual architectural buildings. First step is to search for Tinkercad in your internet browser. Should be one of the first things that pop up, and then click on the website. Unless you've used this before, you'll have to sign up. When you click sign up, you'll need to fill out the appropriate information here and click next. I would recommend you use your school ID. I've already created an account, so I'm going to sign in using my existing school account. And this is what you'll do once you have already created an account on a daily basis. Once you're logged in, it'll take you through a little bit of a virtual tutorial on doing some different steps. I would recommend you do some of those to learn the basic features of Tinkercad. What I'm going to be doing is showing you some new, more advanced features. So click Create New Design, and you can see it'll create a little silly name for you. To look around your composition or canvas, you can right-click the mouse and rotate up or down, left or right. You can also zoom in by scrolling with your mouse in or scrolling with your mouse out. You can definitely do that with these things here, but I find it's easier just to use your mouse to rotate around. So on the right column here, you'll see a bunch of different shapes, basic shapes that you can use to create your different objects. So for example, if I wanted a box here, I can just drag and drop that into there, and you can see that I can manipulate exactly the different length, the width, and the height, and play around with the shape of that in general to get some more organic or geometric shapes. And you can also turn these into what's called holes or negative spaces, which I'll explain later on. So here's the shape that I've created right now. Let's say I wanted to change that proportionally. I can grab it, the corner, hold shift, and I'll change it exactly proportional, enlarging it or smalling it, or getting it smaller. But if I grab just the side, it'll stretch it or contort it. You can also bring it up higher on the work plane. The work plane is this blue thing, by grabbing this arrow and lifting it up, pulling it down. And I can also rotate things as well. So you can see that when I click on here, I can kind of turn it clockwise or counterclockwise, and you can kind of create an interesting angle for that if you want to play around with that. Let's say I wanted to add something else to this. Let's say I wanted to add a circle to this. And I wanted to create some copies of this. If you want to create some copies of the circle, you can select your object, and you can hit Control-C and then Control-V, and it'll create another sphere for you here. Okay, so I have several different spheres that I'm creating by just clicking Control-C and then Control-V, or you can go up here and select copy, paste, or duplicate. Duplicate is really nice because I guess you can just avoid that step and it automatically happens. Now let's say I wanted to combine some of these different things together. If I wanted this sphere, for example, on top of my pre-existing shape here, you can see that it starts to kind of get absorbed by that shape to show that it's touching that or kind of inside of that. If I wanted to group those together, that's going to allow them to move as one. Because every time I grab this, it's going to move with it. Every time I grab this, it's not going to move with it. So if you wanted to group those things together, you can draw a box around all of this stuff and go up to here and hit group. And you can see that they will change to one color because it shows that they are one, and then they'll move as one. If you want to ungroup it, just select it again and click the ungroup button. Now let's say you wanted to put all these spheres in some type of row. And to show this, I'm going to delete these temporarily. Alright, so if you wanted to create these in some type of organized row and didn't want to have to try to like align them perfectly by just kind of eyeballing it, you can draw a box around these and you can click Align, and you can choose how you want them to be aligned. You want to align them along like such, along like such, and you can kind of play around with these different features here. So yeah, you can arrange these in several different ways to align them however you want. Okay, so play around with those features to make that happen. One final thing, when you are working on your project, you might want to try the Scribble option. So this over here works by taking your Scribble and dragging it over here, and it gives you an overview shot. The reason it gives you an overview shot is because it's going to three-dimensionally create in this view here whatever you draw. So let's say you wanted to draw something from shape like this. It's going to three-dimensionally create that. And then you can potentially decide to fill it in if you want by doing, here's another shape that's just like it. But with this option of it being filled in, it creates a solid piece. Did it do it? Oh no, maybe it's because I got to go on the outside. Might be because I have to just trace the exterior or the contour line of it. So it's a silhouette. I'm not sure why it's not doing that. But anyway, you can do it that way, and then you can also go back and erase certain marks too. So it's ways of kind of sectioning off your work. So this allows you to create really, really organic imagery that you might not be able to easily achieve with other means and other options as well. So you can see how it renders there. Then when you're done, click Done, and you can see that it created this shape for you. And then just like always, you can manipulate these as well. So let's say you wanted to stretch this or contort this. You could definitely do that just like normal. So those are some basic steps on working on Tinkercad. Once you're done working, it saves automatically. But one thing you want to do early on is share your work with a partner. So to share your work, you're going to be going up to this share button and click Generate Link. And there's a link here that's going to get created. And I would recommend you copy this and then paste it to someone in your partner in your email. So you can go Inbox, and you can paste this link here, and you can send it to your partner and send that to them, and they have that link. Now, the only problem is this link only lasts for 3 or 4 days. So you're gonna have to. So if you are the admin of this and you create that, you're gonna have to constantly copy and send that to them about twice a week. All right. So those are some steps on Tinkercad. Have fun.